Hey everyone, Combo here, back with another Empires and Puzzles video, and today we are going to talk about the 20 heroes that you can select as featured heroes in the birthday summon this week. This list just came out yesterday, and in today's video, I'm actually going to do a ranking of all 20 of these heroes. I had a couple comments on some videos yesterday asking me to do this. So here we are. We're going to attempt to do a ranking of these 20 amazing heroes that you can choose as selectable featured heroes in the birthday summon this week. This starts tomorrow on Wednesday, March 18th. And I want to preface this by saying any of these 20 heroes can likely help your roster. Just because I've got somebody at 19 or 20 or 16 or 17 or 18 or something like that doesn't mean that you should not choose them as one of the 3 selectable featured heroes for the birthday summon. And just because I've got somebody ranked 1, 2, or 3 doesn't mean you should definitely have them in your list. I am also going to make this video short and sweet. I will not be talking about any hero for more than 1 minute. So I am going to fly through this list for you all. And starting out at number 20, I've got Asakura Misao. And I actually think he might be the newest hero out of all 20 of these. But I am just not a huge fan of heroes that attack with the chain reaction thing. He is part of the new Ronin family, so he does have very good passives. But he's got 3 different charges for his mana. The first charge deals 250% damage to the target. The attack chains through all enemies who are adjacent to any hit enemy, and then gives a growth to himself with 100 attack and 100 defense. The second charge deals 400% damage to the target. The attack chains through all hit enemies again, and then gives a growth to himself and nearby allies with 250 attack and 250 defense. And then the third charge deals 600% damage to the target, and then chains through all nearby enemies. All allies get 600 attack and 600 defense. Obviously, that last charge is insane with the amount of growth that you get and the high attack stat, but that's going to come in at like 14 tiles or 13 tiles or something like that. And the big reason I don't like these chain reaction specials is because a lot of people play 4-1 or 3-2 or 3-1-1 or mono, some people even. And for you to be able to not take out the tank and get 14 tiles for him to get that third charge, I just don't feel like that's a likely scenario. You're hoping to not take out the tank when you use a hero like this, which I just don't like that strategy. So that's why I have him so low. At number 19, I've got Vernix, and I think that Vernix is very good. I've got Vernix at level 90. I use her pretty much every single war. She is a very good hero. There's just so many other really good heroes in this list. She has fast mana speed. If any enemy has the frost status ailment, then she will deal 310% damage to all enemies, reduces the mana of all enemies by 5%, and all enemies receive 2,360 frost damage over 5 turns. If any enemy does not have the frost status ailment already, then she will deal 260% damage to all enemies, and all enemies receive 1,845 frost damage over 5 turns. Like I said, I do think that Vernix is very good, and if you happen to have 2 of Vernix, then she is very fun to use 2 of on the same team, because you can fire those specials right after another and get the better special on the second one. Obviously, being part of the Wildcat family, she's got the 9 lives passives. I think she's a great hero. There's just better ones on this list. At number 18, I've got Bonga from the Mahayota family. He is slow mana speed, deals 415% damage to all enemies, has a growth boon where he will deal 2x extra damage for each point of modified attack, summons a Tokri minion for each ally with 30% health and 30% attack inherited from the caster. Each time a Tokri minion hits an enemy, it steals a random dispellable buff from the enemy and gives it to its owner. Bonga hits like a truck. He is very powerful. If it weren't for his speed, he would definitely be higher up on this list. It's also worth noting that the Mahayota family members do have the passive where they gain mana each time they get hit with either direct damage from special skills or normal attacks. So there's that mana on damage received passive. You can get a maximum of 10% mana gained per turn from that passive, and that is in addition to gaining mana if he's on defense, just being hit with tiles. I don't have Bonga, but he can be very annoying to go up against if you do not have any heroes to remove the growth. At number 17, I've got Regin, and the costume does come with Regin. Fast mana speed, dispels a buff from the target and nearby enemies, attacks the target and nearby enemies with frost, just kidding, not frost, firestorm strike, dealing up to 2220 damage, deals 40% more damage if the target is of the nature element. This special skill never misses its targets, and the target and nearby enemies are immune to new status effect buffs for 3 turns. I love the fact that Regin gets the special in 7 tiles. Ailment immunity passive, has the molten core, does a lot of damage, priority dispels, plus makes it so that 3 enemies cannot gain any buffs. Great hero. At number 16, I've got Sheree. She is from the Magic Carpet family, so has some very good passives and family bonus from that. She's fast mana speed, deals 400% damage to the target, deals 400% damage to 2 random enemies. All hit targets get plus 30% increased damage for 3 turns. All hit targets receive 951 bleed damage over 3 turns, and all buffs affecting attack, defense, and mana generation on all enemies are transformed into matching undispellable ailments. I said undispellable, obviously I meant uncleansable. But she is great. I actually am working on leveling her right now, but she can be very annoying to go up against. I always feel like one of my heroes gets hit at least twice from her special skill, which does a ton of damage. She's got the flight momentum, so she has a chance to dodge and have the increased mana generation. Great hero. At number 15, I've got another holy hero with Immigus. He is very fast mana speed. He is from the Astral Demon family, deals 310% damage to the enemies on the edges of the enemy formation. If there is only one enemy, the damage is doubled. Reduces the mana of the enemies on the edges of the formation by 20%. If there is only one enemy, the mana reduction is doubled. And then enemies on the edges of the formation receive resonance for 2 turns. Each turn, resonance deals 1029 damage to the afflicted enemies and 514 damage to nearby enemies. Immigus is a great hero, great passes with the Astral Demon family, great family bonus. And let's take a look at the family bonus and passives real quick here. So the hinder mana passive, because we've got quite a few Astral Demons, I want to make sure we go over this at least once. Reduces the amount of mana increased by special skills, passive skills, family bonuses, and status effects by minus 80%. This effect applies to all enemies in battle. So that's going to be very useful against Zestique or Thafer or anybody else that increases mana. And then resist negative mana effects. This character is immune to mana reductions as well as status ailments and negative stacks that affect mana generation. Applies also to effects and status ailments that block or steal mana. And then also the perfect accuracy passive. Let's take a look at the family bonus real quick here. So this character gains 3% or 6% mana when taking special skill damage. This effect can activate once per turn. It's 3 or 6 depending if you have 1 or 2 unique family members on your team. And then same thing depending if you have 1 or 2 unique Astral Demons. Immigus will have a 60 or 85% chance to cleanse 1 status ailment from all allies when receiving special skill damage. These Astral Demons have amazing family bonuses and passive. At number 14, I've got Kesha. She is slow mana speed, although she's part of the Magic Carpet family, and I don't have Kesha, but I'm being told by a lot of people that she really more acts like an average speed hero. She almost always gets her special in 9 tiles, depending on how much flight momentum you have when you're matching those blue tiles. Before her special, she is going to deal 485% damage to all enemies. All allies except the caster dance the Dance of Ishik for 5 turns, and that will give plus 44% mana generation, and received damage is reduced by minus 47%. And then obviously remember that any dancing effect is basically cleansing any ailments that you had and preventing any other ailments from being obtained. At number 13, we've got our first Veggie on the list with Bartholomew. He is average mana speed, deals 300% damage to the target and nearby enemies, deals additional 15% damage for each fiend or mega fiend owned by the enemies, up to 450% damage in total. He then harvests buffs from the target and nearby enemies, and the caster and nearby allies counterattack with 110% of the damage received for 4 turns. He's also got the empowered resist special skill blocking. Actually, let's take a look at the passives and family bonus real quick here. So yes, empowered resist special skill blocking. He is immune to status ailments that prevent the use of special skills, and they also gain 450 boosted health and 5% mana each time they resist. And then the Seedling Summoner passive, which makes these veggies so useful and so fun to use. Summons a seedling fiend first, which evolves into a sprout fiend in 2 turns and then evolves into a blossom mega fiend 2 turns later. At number 12, I've got another veggie here with Indigon. He has average mana speed, deals 300% damage to all enemies, deals additional 5% damage for each fiend or mega fiend owned by the enemies, up to 350% damage in total. And then he gives 2 stacks, 1 to enemies, 1 to allies. The 1 to enemies is all damage all enemies receive is increased by plus 6%. That is a max of 10 stacks, so plus 60% would be the max. And then all allies get plus 4% mana generation, so that is going to max out at plus 40% mana generation if you're able to get that off 10 times. This little mushroom looking guy has definitely been fun to use. I've got him on my roster. I mean, all the veggies are fun to use with those fiends just adding up. At number 11, I've got Veer from the Mahayota family. He is fast mana speed, deals 370% damage to the target and nearby enemies, has a growth boon where he will deal 2x extra damage for each point of modified attack, and all allies get plus 45% chance to dodge special skills for 3 turns. Each dodge damages the attacker for 250 damage. I think that Veer is very good, just maybe not the best purple attack 3 hitter on this list, which we'll talk about the other one in a little bit. At number 10, I've got another veggie here with Broseph. He is fast mana speed, recovers 50% health for the caster and nearby allies, uproots debuffs from the caster and nearby allies, and then gives a growth effect where all allies get 125 attack and 125 defense. I love the fact that he's a druid class and fast mana speed, because the druid class giving 4% mana from the talent node makes it so that he can get his special in 7 tiles with a legendary troop. He's also got the ailment immunity ether power, which is very useful. And as far as what uprooting is actually, let's take a look at this because I don't want to miss something about it. Uproot safely removes 2 status ailments, negative stacks, or wither effects from each target. This includes uncleansable status ailments and dance effects. The caster receives 7% boosted health for each effect removed. Boosted health can exceed max HP. Safe cleanse bypasses secondary effects such as damage on removal from the removed status ailment, and then external effects such as passive skills and family effects can still activate. Wither effects are removed first, other effects, the latest is removed first. So I know that's a lot, but basically uprooting is a cleansing ability, which can also remove wither effects and uncleansable ailments, and dancing, which normally just cleansing would not do any of that. At number 9, I've got another Astral Demon here with Zondalath, and Zondalath is on my list of 6 heroes that I really want from this group of 20. I think that she is an amazing healer. Average mana speed, receives or recovers 45% health for all allies. All allies reduce all received damage by minus 50% for 4 turns. All allies except the caster get an additional plus 30% attack power for the next special skill they cast. The additional attack power increases 30% each turn, up to a maximum of plus 120% in total. She's also got the Fiend Resist Ether power, so that is going to be very useful against the veggies. She's got the great passives that we've been talking about with the Astral Demons, with the Hinder Mana passive, not being able to have her mana reduced or altered or any ailments, and then the cleansing ability with the Astral Demon family bonus. I really want Zondalath. I don't know if she's going to make my list of 3, but if I get lucky and pull some heroes early, maybe she'll get swapped in. At number 8, I've got Thafer. He has been wrecking teams since he came out. He's average mana speed. The caster steals 25% mana from the target, deals 375% damage to the target and 4 random enemies. The caster steals 70% of any healing applied to the target for 4 turns. Thafer is not a complicated hero. He is just a menace. Very annoying to go up against, very fun to use. Obviously, he's got the 9 lives passive with the Wildcat family. Great hero. If you don't have him, he's probably going to be on your list. At number 7, I've got another healer here with Freyawaru, and she is definitely on my list of 6 heroes that I'm considering. I don't have her. I've been trying to get her since she came out. She's average mana speed. She first safely dispels status effect buffs from all enemies, boosts health of all allies by 1300, and then gives the source of ailments where the following effects are cast on a random enemy at the start of each turn. Minus 80% 30% mana generation for 3 turns, and minus 60% defense against special skills for 3 turns. The Source of Ailments will activate 4 times. Each attempt to dispel it removes 1 activation, and she is from the Beowulf family, so she'll have a 75 or 100% chance to cleanse an ailment if she's hit with a special skill. And then she has some amazing passives. Small Giant built this card perfectly, and the first passive I want to talk about is the mana per enemy buff. She gains a small amount of mana for every active status effect buff that the enemy team has at the start of each turn, at a maximum of 20 buffs. Now, these do include ether powers at the start of the battle. This is why she gains mana so quickly, is because of those ether powers basically giving her mana. I've seen her activate in like 2 turns and not even ever have any tiles up against her when she's on defense. She's also got the empowered resist mana reduction, so this character has innate resistance against mana reductions. They also gain 600 boosted health and 10% mana each time they resist. She's also got resist buff blocking. This character is immune to effects that would block them from receiving new status effect buffs. She's a great hero, one of the best healers in the game by far. She's on my list of 6 that I'm considering. I just don't know if she's going to make the cut. At number 6, I've got Heradia from the Astral Demon family. She is fast mana speed, deals 390% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The more mana the enemies have, the more damage they will receive, up to 450%. The target and nearby enemies receive resonance for 3 turns. Each turn, resonance deals 783 damage to the afflicted enemies and 391 damage to nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies receive mana corruption for 3 turns. Each time an afflicted enemy receives mana from an additional source, they receive 800 damage. And of course, she's got the great family bonus and passives that I keep on talking about with the Astral Demon family. She's got the dodge ether power. Heradia does a ton of damage between her initial attack and the resonance over the next several turns. Cracking the top 5, we've got Shijin from the Outlaws of Liangshan family. He just came out very recently. He's average mana speed. This special skill has a chance to deal critical hits, as all members of the Outlaws of Liangshan family do, and then deals 550% damage to the target, deals 150% damage to 8 random enemies, and all allies get plus 45% attack for 4 turns. Shijin does a ton of damage with that ability to get the critical chance on his special. Definitely a hero that I would like to have. He's in my top 6, and I think he's probably going to make my top 3 for who I actually choose as my selectable heroes. Coming in at number 4, we've got another purple hero. This is the 3rd one in a row. We've got Immigus. He is average mana speed. All enemies get minus 400 attack with her. All enemies get 80% chance, or rather, minus 80% decrease for any healing received for 4 turns. This effect cannot be cleansed. He then lists the latest cleansable status ailment from all allies and randomly distributes them on enemies, and then cleanses status ailments from all allies at the end of each turn for 4 turns. Immigus can be very annoying to go up against if he continues to revive and continues to go off with his special. If he goes off twice and the wither adds up and you don't have a way of removing the wither or giving yourself any growth to counter the wither, then that is going to make the battle pretty much impossible. Immigus is another one I am highly considering for my top 6, and somebody I probably will have in my final 3. I really want Immigus, honestly. At number 3, we've got Ustad Anand, and he is somebody that I do have, and I can attest to that he is very fun to use. He's average mana speed, deals 355% damage to all enemies, has the growth boon where he will deal 2x extra damage for each point of modified attack. All enemies get minus 34% mana generation for 4 turns, and all enemies are immune to new status effect buffs for 4 turns. I talked about it earlier with the Mahayota family, how they actually gain mana, or rather additional mana, when hit with either normal attacks or special skills. They can gain an extra 10% mana per turn based on that. Ustad makes a great flank on a defense, and obviously very powerful on offense also. Coming in at number 2, I've got Lane from the Shady Scoundrel family. This is actually the first time he is being offered in a portal since he first came out in the Black Friday portal like 4 months ago. He has average mana speed, deals 585% damage to the target and minor damage to all other enemies. The caster goes into ambush. Damage dealt by the caster is increased by plus 50%, and damage received by them is decreased by minus 40%. He also deals extra damage against fire. He's got the counterattack ether power. He's got the ransacking passive, which lets let's take a look at what exactly that is. So at the start of each turn, this character has a 50% chance to ransack a random enemy, which steals 200 health first, and then safely steals one random growth effect, positive stack, or status effect buff from the enemy. This includes undispellable buffs and dance effects. I don't have either of the shady scoundrels, which is Lane and Duval, but it is very annoying to go up against them and have them steal like the undispellable taunt from Oni Wakamaru, which should not be able to be stolen, or a dance effect from somebody like Sludges. It's just very annoying when that happens, and it really makes the opponent rethink the team that they're bringing against these shady scoundrels. Lane is somebody I really want, definitely my top 6, and probably will be in my top 3 for heroes that I choose as my selectable featured heroes. And coming in at number 1 for me has got to be Salom. She is just so useful, has so many things about her that make her so valuable in my opinion. It probably starts with the fact that she's got the family bonus and passives with the ability to cleanse, the hinder mana passive, not being able to have her mana reduced or altered or any ailments or anything like that. But for her special, she's average mana speed, destroys all fiends from all allies. This effect damages mega fiends, and then she boosts health of all allies by 1300. At the end of each turn, all allies shoot an astral beam to a random enemy for 4 turns. Each astral beam deals 200% damage, and it also reduces the max health of the hit enemy by 200. I do have Salom, and she is very fun to use. Those astral beams have definitely bailed me out of some battles. Really good fiend removers are not that common in the game. It's really just Salom and Ragrim at this point right now. And if you don't have any fiend removers, I would highly recommend adding Salom to your list of 3 heroes that you have to choose for your feature heroes in the birthday summit. So that is my ranking from worst to first of 20 amazing heroes. This was not an easy list to come up with or to rank. Hopefully I did it justice. And again, I tried to fly through these as quickly as possible for you all. Hopefully you found it helpful. Let me know who you are thinking about choosing for your 3 selectable heroes. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy it or found it helpful. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure you're subbed to my channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.